Hello, everybody. Welcome to my stream. I am gonna be sketching today. Uh, I have a few images up on Pinterest, and I'm just going to be sketching those images and making it into something, probably something like a book cover or an illustration, something along those lines. Um, And yeah, nothing too serious. It's probably just gonna be black and white, but or not. It depends what I feel like doing. But usually when I use pencil brushes, I do. I just go black and white because it makes it so much easier. Um, Hold on. I'm just trying to bring things up. Oh, damn. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to. Yeah. No. I'm gonna start my sketching. Like I said before, I have my Pinterest up. So I'm going to pick some things, pick some images. Well, I have some in mind already, if I'm going to be honest. And then just start with those. Sorry, I haven't streamed in a while. So sometimes just takes me a second to get up and running. Okay. So, first off, what I'm doing is I'm thinking more like a fantasy vibe for this one. Almost like what would a D&D party be? So, I got a few images up. The thing that's awesome um about live streams, or not about live streams, about Pinterest is they have everything there. So, it's and they're photographers that set up some dope shoots. So yeah, no, it's always good to just go there and look. I have a lot of like Afrofuturism type feels on there, but most things to do with fantasy. I have a few fantasy setups. You'll see later on that I have School Lady with like four arms. They set up an awesome like photography shoot. So, and the lighting's great on some of these too. But that doesn't matter because I usually make up my own lighting because, especially if I'm using multiple, not always, but if I'm using multiple characters, I have to because they're not all gonna have the same lighting. Um, yeah, so I have this guy who looks kind of like a magician. It's like a real inquisitive, looking up like he's in thought, but he's not doing much else. He's got robes on. Definitely like the handful of the group, I'd say. Um, but yeah, right now I'm just laying out the basic form of this guy. You can't necessarily see all of this, but that's fine because yeah, it's covered up with robes, but I kind of drawing through helps you with form and anatomy. So Even though this is a sketch, if it's digital, I'll do that because um, layers. It just makes it so easy. If I was doing this on paper, I'd just try to draw the form, like how he looks exactly. But that's the beauty of technology, am I right? I have headphones in. I'm supposed to be listening to music while I do this, but like I started and I forgot to start it up. So now just listening to silence, which I don't know about you guys. Um, it's real uncomfortable sometimes. I don't know why. But another thing I'm gonna look into is having music while I stream, cause that'll fill some gaps in. But you don't really see the legs. This probably is gonna be. Yeah, he's probably gonna be closer than most of the people. I'll probably like throw him there once it's all said and done. And zoom in, cover the face. I see some artists never zoom in when they're doing their digital art, or don't zoom in until the very end, and I don't know how they do that. It amazes me every single time because all throughout it, no matter what I'm doing, zooming in, it's probably a bad habit, but like also, what are you gonna do? The end product's not the worst in the world, so can't hurt too much, am I right? Might hurt with speed though. Think, but that doesn't matter. Especially if I'm working on a project for myself. I guess faster is better in some cases, but also whatever. Um, I do like to get the faces a little more right in the initial like rough in block phase um because well, it could look real janky if during the in the last sketch, in the final sketch, when I'm just if I draw it a little tighter there, then and you want the face to be right because everyone's looking at faces all day. That's the one thing. You kind of fudge hands, and people will be like, "Oh, those are hands," and might not even notice it. But if you do that to the face, people are going to be like, "Oh, there's something wrong with that guy." So my sketches, faces are always a little tighter. This guy has a hat of some. I'm not sure if it's a hat or a wrap, right? Because it looks like a dome, like a head wrap, but also, I don't know. I'll just block it in. I'll probably make it a wrap. I think it being wrap is a little more like fits the way he's dressed more than the rest of his like with the rest of his clothes. But and it's but the image is dark and it has its and the hats black. So it's like, I don't know. It could be either because he also has a turtleneck on, so it's like a shift of like modern and older, like more traditional clothing. Which is always fun. I like the mix of older and traditional. I have a comic out right now, um, and that is consistently coming out, and or at least I plan it to be. But I have to try my hardest to when I'm doing like traditional ancient clothes, to keep it that because the fusion between traditional and modern clothes is always so fun to draw. I think um, I usually, even if I'm like drawing superheroes, I like to have them come from somewhere and draw them with some sort of like traditional backing because it just everyone kind of knows where the design would be coming from if you do that. So it's a great shorthand, and also, um, and also, like I said, I think it looks cool. Right now, if you do that with far future stuff, that's even better. Definitely love that. Like, why is that guy with Centurion armor have a jetpack, and why is he holding a ray gun? It's a cool design. It's fun, and it offers questions, especially if it's just an illustration. That's like makes people more intrigued. That's what I think, anyways. I don't know. But everyone has their own design sense when it comes to that type of stuff. That's why I follow so many people on Instagram. It's because I love to see how other people create. It's always fun. Move him. Oh, oops. And move him over to the center just because I'm not working on anything else. It doesn't have to be in the corner. And then I could use what I want. Better not to cut stuff off right now. Because if I throw him in the back, I could just throw him in the back, you know? And then he'll need all his stuff. I could always put like a tree or something to cut it off, but why not have everything just in case, you know what I mean? Looks more confused than inquisitive, in my opinion. I'm not gonna worry about that too much right now, but he definitely looks lost for some reason. interesting because I don't know if is the right side of the cloth is connected to the left side because it's different colors. So I don't know if he just has like two different wraps around him. Which is cool. Giving me real Dark Wizard vibes. Like the more I look at it, like someone who would be in that cult in Harry Potter, the Death Eaters or whatever they're called. Is that what they're called? Voldemort's clan? I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't watched those movies in a while, and I've never read the. Oh, I didn't do that. And I've never read the books. I've read the third book. I read part of the second book and all of the third book, which makes no sense, I know, and a little bit of the fourth book. But back in the day, I wasn't reading like that. The first actual full book I read before I got bored, or full series, I guess, was Percy Jackson. I always thought that was fire. I still think it's fire. They're doing a new show about Percy Jackson, and I'm 100% gonna watch it because I grew up with that dude. So there is absolutely zero chance that I'm not going to. Plus, I love mythology. Who doesn't love mythology, you know? So that's always fun, in my opinion, anyways. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. I hope it's good. Funny enough, the movies, the horrible Percy Jackson movies, are what got me into the book series. So that that's interesting because I seen the first movie and then I seen it with my best friend at the time, and then he was like, "Oh, you like the movie? Okay, well, I have the books. If you read the first book, I'll give you the whole series." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't really read like that at the time, but I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then I ended up reading the whole series, and it just kept going because that series has a spin-off series and blah blah blah. So it's tight. So good. I could watch Percy Jackson forever. Hell, I would love to do. I do comics. Rick Riordan out there, if he's hearing anything, I'd love to do a a short, like slice of life comic about or there should be a slice of life animation. I always thought Percy Jackson should be an animation. I don't like anime type vibes. I think that would serve best for what it is. But oh, that's not. But I'd love like a short animated series where it's just like a slice of life and you see what's going on in Camp Half Blood. I think that'd be so tight. You could do one for the Magnus Chase series has like a Valhalla hotel. So you could do one for that too. But the Percy Jackson one is the one I'm interested in. That would be awesome. I'm gonna throw music on so I could listen to something as I talk. If I have something to focus on, I am less distracted on what the other thing is, if that makes any sense. I know that makes no sense because every time I explain it to anyone, they're like, "What?" But but yeah. No, I'm just gonna throw on some music. Pardon my silence. I also have more ideas for Harry Potter too. I really think that like one day I spent a whole day on the what's it called, like Pottermore or something like that, on the Pottermore website. And I just went through all the different schools, right? Because there's more uh, like Harry Potter schools other than um, Hogwarts, right? Like America has one, and we've seen a few other different ones, just because when all the other magic, like the Russian people and the what were those girls, like French or something, when all the other schools came to Hogwarts. But like there are other ones. There's one in Japan. There's one in America. There's one in Africa. Why not have a short series where you kind of explore their magic and how they do their thing? I think that'd be so cool. And I have a really cool idea for one of those schools that I'm not going to say here because I plan to pitch it to J.K. Rowling in probably 3 years if I calculate everything right. how how do I know that? I don't. But that's the number I said. So we'll see. 2025. I'll get my pitch to her. Unless she sees this, then come watch me now. But I have a cool pitch for Harry Potter, like universe spin-off type deal that I think would be super fun. Um, and on that, can we talk about how Fantastic Beasts past the first one should not have been called Fantastic Beasts? Because the first one has hype with the story and has hype with all the monsters and stuff, and then everything else was just like a whole nother series. I don't know why they just didn't do another series and still do the Fantastic Beasts thing, because I think a magician who likes to care for magic beasts and has these adventures to either find or save or blah 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 with these magic beasts is so cool, because all these magic beasts have different magic powers, obviously, so that in and of itself would be cool. Honestly, if you I know this is a whole idea in and of itself, but if you did like a National Geographic esque show with with the Fantastic Beasts, I think that would be awesome. I also think if it starts as almost like a National Geographic show and then we kind of go deeper into it, and then the guy that's whatever, it's magic, so I guess he might be filming himself or whatever, and then it turns into a real actual movie where this guy is in a problem with these magical beasts, or this evil magical beast or whatever. I think that'd be awesome. I don't know, I'm just spitting out ideas here, but I think that'd be super cool. But hey, what do I know? A lot when it comes to storytelling. That's what I spend all my time on. But what do I know? All right, let's get back into this drawing. I have like four figures to draw, so let's go. Let's do it. Um, but yeah, no, it's just I have so many ideas for all of these like profit child properties, because, or young adult properties, because I don't know, that's just a young adult. I'm still technically, when does young adult stop? I think I'm just an adult now, which is boring. Out here trying to work and shit. But yeah, young adult's funner than adult, depending on when that all stops and starts. You know what I mean? Like I think the perfect, well, college age is the perfect age, right? You can go around, you could drive, you could do adult stuff, but you're also no 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 super responsibility yet, or at least I didn't feel. So feel a little more now, but also is what it is. I'm not mad at it. It all progresses. All these chains on this guy are very simple. I'm thinking about switching them up, but I don't know. Because even the rings, he has rings on his finger, but they all look the same for some reason. That's weird. I don't know why that would be the case. I don't know. But this is, again, just a sketch, so I guess I don't necessarily have to, like, just the rough of the sketch. So I guess I don't necessarily have to draw all this in, but I am making it a little more cleaner than I would regularly. I don't know why. But, but, yeah. Oof, all this magic talk makes me want to write. I was watching this thing on YouTube today. It's this guy I just found. I forget his name, but he goes through all these characters, and he has the Black Air Force round table, where all these characters with Black Air Force energy, like just savages, badasses. Um, he sits them down at the table, and it's just him discussing the dope stuff that they do. Uh, and I just found that now, and I watched like 6 of his videos yesterday, and I watched like 3 more today, because it's just people being dope. And then I'm a writer, so I'm just like, I need to write I need to write and make my characters do some dope shit because it's just so fun to listen to. That's how I think of it. Every time I see something awesome, I'm like, I gotta write something that's just as awesome as this, if not more. Usually more. Definitely striving for more when I think about it, but it doesn't mean I achieve it. Ugh, jeez, those hands are horrid. Whatever, it is what it is. Again, just a sketch. I'm probably gonna cover it with magic. I'm gonna be honest, right? He has rings, so I'll probably do some like cool magic stuff when I'm throwing in the lighting. And that, kids, is how you cover up mistakes. Oh, you don't know how to draw hands? Just make sure your character can shoot lasers out of them. Then all you have to draw is some type of wave. Makes it so much better. Lasers, fire, cosmic energy, anything of that sort. Or just say that their hands are hidden in an alternate dimension. I've never used that one, but not yet. I might. I don't know what powers you would get from your hands being covered in an alternate dimension, but it could be cool. Ooh, maybe if your hands are covered in an alternate dimension, what happens is you could move them freely in a dimension that's parallel to ours, right? And then you effectively have telekinesis, but it's really your hands just moving about. Just a thought. If you have a good idea for alternate dimension hand powers, comment below. Oh, jeez. Um, I just got into this new series. It's a fictional, like it's a fantasy story, and it's pretty good. What was it called? Spellslinger. I got it because I thought it was gonna be a fantasy western, but my music just started. I think I hit my earbud by accident. It startled me. Uh, but I thought it was gonna be a. I'm gonna pause that. I was in the zone. Jeez. Anyways, I thought it was gonna be like a western fantasy, and I was a little bummed. And I picked it up. I didn't even read it. I just thought Spellslinger. That sounds cool. Thought it was gonna be like a western fantasy, and then it's not. But it was really good. But I was bummed about the western fantasy because I haven't seen that yet, and I came up with a story about that, and I was going to do a whole comic on it before I decided to do my current comic, Blood. Go check it out on thecomicgod.com. I, I was going to do a whole story about it, but I haven't done it yet, so I was bummed that someone else did it, and I was like, no, I wanted to be the one, but it's not about that, so I was kind of happy, and it turned out to be good. The ending was awesome. It ended just kind of like how I wanted it to end, but there's so many twists that I couldn't like foretell what was gonna happen, because I that's what I do. I'm like, oh, it's definitely gonna end this way, and then it doesn't, and then a lot of the times it does, just because I've seen so much TV. I know the tropes and everything, but this guy had like two twists and a reveal, and I was like, oh. I was wrong. um but I'm happy when I'm wrong, because that just means, well, it doesn't always mean the story's good, obviously, but it means I'm surprised by the story, which is nice, because in times where you kind of always tell what's about to happen, um, in stories, because they're so formulaic, it's good to be shocked. So now I have to get the next book. It's called The Shadow Black, which I think sounds dope as shit. Um, and I'm excited to see the progression of this character. There's four books, I think, maybe five. I think there's just four, but there might be five books, and I'm definitely excited to read it because I just really enjoyed the first one. But the last series I read, also five books, and the longest series that I've finished, um, also really awesome. It's another fantasy, but that was um, the Lightbringer series, and that was really awesome. I really enjoyed that. And the same author has another like famous series that he did before that one, the Night Angel series, I think it is. And thinking about um, I'm thinking about reading that, because I know I like how the author writes already, right? Because I love the other series so much. So I'll probably read it, and I'll probably, at the very least, enjoy the story. But part of the reason why I liked the other one, the his other series so much, the Lightbringer series, is because the world was really cool. I thought the power system that was had, it was all based off of light, which is always fun. Oh, okay, I know what I'm doing there. It was all based off of light, and the magic was each color has a different effect, and depending on the either amount of colors you could summon, and and how good your vision was. There's seven in total. How good your vision was affected your placement, which I thought was awesome. And the society was not quite like high fantasy. It wasn't like in the time of knights. It was more in the time of, I don't know. They had guns, right? Like pirates. It was more in the time of pirates because they had guns, but it was like the guns you had to like repack, and you'd only shoot once. And there were pirates in the story, which I love. Give me a good pirate story. I am in because I always thought they're cool as hell. So that's the first figure. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. That's just the rough version. Um, and now I'm going on to the next one, which should I change that? It's a little more difficult. That doesn't matter. And it has an animal in it. I'm trash at drawing animals. Well, that's not true. It depends what animal. I could draw a snake. Like horses are hard to draw, for example. It's getting the placement right, because the human figure, it's easy. Like, but, oh, I set up a face, all right, and we're all good with shorthands because I could do like a real cartoony whatever, and everyone recognize that as a face, right? But like a horse, watch me just draw a dope horse and negate my negate my point. A horse right now, we don't know what that is, right? I asked somebody, they might be like, I don't know, is that a giraffe? So I gotta get better with my animals. That's for sure. Hey! Has been a long time. How are you doing? I'm just sketching right now. This is what I got so far. I'm gonna sketch a few figures and then compose them into into an illustration. And it's just gonna be like a sketch illustration. Good. That's good. Good to hear. So now I'm moving on to my next image. This one's gonna be rough. Has a horse in it, but I'm sure I'll do fine. Especially it's a sketch, so it's like if I don't do great, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I gotta get more reps in for animals. I will eventually, but when it comes to animals, I'm not just. I like to draw superheroes and people with like swords and sorcery. So it's like not many people are riding horses on what. I don't like that. Hold on. In what I'm drawing. And usually I'll make something up. Like I'll do dragon, right? But I can draw reptiles, no problem. They're a little easier, in my opinion, especially if I'm using reference. They're not as specific as mammals. Not even all mammals, because I could do like a decent tiger, for example, right? It's just like horses, cows, livestock. I seem to have trouble with for some reason. Livestock are horses livestock? I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um, So, what was I talking about before? Fantasy books. Oh, I picked up. I've been reading the what's it called? I don't know why I'm blanking on the name right now, because it's real popular. It's a manhwa, which is like a Korean manga. It's a Korean comic. Um, Solo Leveling. That's what I've been watching. I don't know why I forgot the name like that, but or that's what I've been reading, and it's real good. My friend told me to get into it, um, like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. He told me about it, and I was like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And then I finally went to the bookstore and seen it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. I've heard a few people say it's good, and then yeah, no, it's fire. It definitely got me. So, oh, really? Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. But, more. Hmm. Oh, that's weird. That's just get closer to the mic. Um, all right. So hopefully that's better. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the oh yeah, the book I'm reading, the Solo Leveling. It's so good. Everyone told me that it was good. I didn't like not believe them, but I thought it was awesome, and it continues to be awesome. I think I'm on the fourth or fifth volume right now. Um, and things are heating up. So I just really like the story's simple, but it's also it has a nice hook to it that I'm continuing to like. So I hope it stays that way, because I think it's very easy for something like that to kind of jump the shark and be a little too crazy. But right now, the ridiculousness of it and the over the topness of it fits. So maybe not. I don't know. But I think it's also supposed to get animated soon, which I'm here for. Definitely gonna rewatch it once I see it there. Um, Also, uh, I can't wait for Jujutsu Kaisen to come back. I don't know when it is, but I'm reading the manga right now and it's getting fun. Um, there's so many scenes I want to see animated from that. Hmm. That there's a few things I want to come back and I'm surprised that haven't. Like uh Tower of God is something I watched a while ago, and I thought that'd be back by now, and I don't think I've heard anything from it since I've watched it, and I watched it late, right? Because just like this one, just like the Solo Leveling, a bunch of people told me to watch it, and then I watched it. Um, so surprised it's not back now, but I know with the pandemic and everything, people have been having trouble animating stuff. Which honestly, you would think that'd be one of the one things you could do, because when it comes to like storyboarders and writers, and you don't necessarily have to be in the same room for that, right? Other than with like actual filming, where you have to where obviously actors have to act together. So I don't know, I think that'd be easier. But also, I've never been a part of that pipeline, so I don't actually know how much interaction is needed for it. So I'm probably made her a little too tall. Doesn't matter really. Um, yeah, but what was it? Tower of God, and was it God of High School? That too is another thing. I don't know if it got canceled or if it's coming back or what, but that's something else I enjoyed, especially the beginning of it. At the end, it got like it was like a lot, right? But spoilers, 3, 2, 1. They all became like gods at the end. So them having like god powers and then them becoming gods, I think are two like it's so much power for the first season, right? So maybe it'll be different. I haven't read the I know it's based off of a manga, I think. I don't know. Maybe but I haven't read that one, so or like a webtoon or whatever. So I haven't read it, so I don't know if they like fix that. But I think they just got hella strong real fast. But also I want to see what happens to those characters because I like those characters, so I hope it comes back. The thing about this character I'm drawing, she a horse is in front of her. So this whole side is like I don't know what's happening. Like I could infer, but like some how some things lay, I'm not necessarily sure. Just kind of making some of it up. Um, I'm also excited to see the new Black Panther. I think that comes out. Is it early November? I think it's November 12th or something. Don't quote me on that. Uh, but I'm excited to see that just because Namor looks awesome and the Atlanteans look awesome in it. Um, but I'm not happy with T'Challa not being in it. I understand the whole like Chadwick Boseman thing and his passing, and yes, that's tragic. But like to also take a huge character in the MCU and just not make him a part of the MCU anymore, even though he's important to people like me, is a little wild in my opinion. But again, well, what do I know about storytelling? But like also he was one of the only black character, no, the only black male character at least that that isn't following uh isn't putting like stepping in the shoes of of another just like white character, right? Because we have Sam, he's Captain America, right? It's a legacy character. He's not being his own thing. And then we have War Machine, who's again not being his own thing, right? So he's just like a copycat of our boy Iron Man, right? Which is fine, but also them taking away Black Panther kind of shines a light for me on the fact that the the black male original characters are now just like not there, which is crazy to me. But also I could see why the people who worked with Chadwick probably didn't want to recast him, just because, like, at that point, that's your friend, right? So you kind of want to honor him with ending the role there, but I think that's a disservice. But that's just me being political. I'll get off that topic. um, I don't even know if that's political. That's just how I feel. But yeah, I like how all these characters are gonna how they're gonna fit together, like the ones I'm drawing. Also, speaking about the MCU, the ending of She-Hulk. Not gonna say what it is. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but I didn't love it. I enjoyed the show as a whole. It was all right. Like it wasn't mind-boggling. They didn't do anything like super cool. I don't think, anyways. But the way it ended was so weird. Uh-huh. Oof. The hard thing about this character, this girl I'm drawing, is she has so much stuff on her, but like also all the stuff is in front of each other. It's just very awkward to draw. But I'll get it. Um oh, another thing I heard, speaking of anime, is Disney Plus got the rights to well, they have the rights for Bleach's new street, like the streaming to Bleach's new season, but they also got the rights to Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Super's streaming when it comes back. So the whole Moro arc, the Granola arc, all that is I think that's all they have right now. I think it went straight from Moro to Granola. But all that they have the rights to now, which is crazy. I didn't know they were gonna get into the anime game. I don't know what like Crunchyroll's doing or Viz, right? I don't know what they're doing. You'd think they would snag it up, but honestly, Disney can offer them more money, and that's probably what happened. I don't know if they've seen people dropping off, but I hope this means Disney makes more Disney anime. So when it comes to Star Wars, or when it comes to Marvel in general, I guess that they just do more anime-esque things with their properties, and I think that would be awesome. So I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm looking forward to it. feel like the lower half. Yeah, I'm gonna shrink this down a bit because the lower half is so much taller than the upper half for no reason. Not quite. It's still tall, but not the worst. Oh, let's try that. I've recently started watching Doom Patrol. That's a fun show. I got Crave because my friend kept on talking about the new Game of Thrones show, and I got jealous, so I bought it. and and obviously can't just watch one show on that service to make its money to make my money's worth. So I just went around seeing what's there. So I finished like a ton of shows. Um, Watchmen I watched, and that was awesome. I totally forgot it was a thing. I remember after I seen it, I was like, I was so mad I couldn't watch this before, and then I just forgot about it. But that was a dope ass show. And then like I watched Silicon Valley. That was fun. I'm still technically in the middle of Workaholics, but I stopped watching that just because watch like binging it. It feels like very the same, and them just doing cringy stuff. I need to take a break from. It was a good show, don't get me wrong, but I was also like, ay, ay, ay. These guys are a little too stupid, in my opinion. Which is part of the funny of the show. If I was just watching it week by week, it'd be better. But binging it, it's cringy, and there's no like real through line for it. I think I was like season 3, and there's no like one story to do the whole story. It's very just like to go through the whole story. They just go through the same things over and over. Which again is not me dissing the show because it's good, but I think that is wait, why is this grouped? I don't know what I did there. Uh, oh, right here. I don't know why I didn't see that before. Um, that should be good. But I think Crave is definitely worth it. And this new Game of Thrones. Oh, this new Game of Thrones is so awesome. I'm really liking it. I like how they use the time skip. Um, yeah, I like how they use this time skip. It's an interesting way to tell a story, but it's really good. And the politics and the the fighting and the blah 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 and the dragons, the fact that there's more magic than there is in Game of Thrones is not by much, but like enough to make me hype about it, right? It's really cool. So I like it. And when it's over, at least when this season's over, I'm probably going to pick up the book that it's based on, because I know it's a little different, but it follows the same, I guess, rhymes, right? And follows the same story. So, um, yeah, I'm going to pick that up because I think there's two of those books right now. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think there's two. So, I'll be happy. I'll be happy to pick those up. Plus, I think they're smaller books than Game of Thrones. At least that's what it looked like when I googled them. So, that'd be good too, because George R. Martin's writing is a lot. Sometimes he writes very well, but he'll go into detail about something that you doesn't matter too much to the main story, and then I'm like, what am I reading right now about the small house in the north? I don't know if this matters. And I think that's the last thing I read. I think I was in book 2 of Game of Thrones, and then I was like, what's happening? And I stopped, and I didn't pick it up again, which I love the series so much, which I also didn't finish, by the way. There's 2 seasons I haven't seen. And just because someone said the last season wasn't so great, so probably after this, Dance of the Dragons or whatever, or House of the Dragons, I'm probably gonna rewatch Game of Thrones, because there's a whole 2 seasons that I haven't seen, which is crazy to me. So I don't know, man. I'll figure that out. Figure that out. I don't know why I said it like that. I'll watch it. I'll do. I don't know what. I don't know. I feel like I'm ranting a little bit, but nothing's wrong with a rant. But it's cool. It's a cool series. Probably when Winds of Winter comes out, I'm gonna restart the Game of Thrones, like reading the Game of Thrones books, because I want to see the differences. Because there wasn't that many differences from like the first season and the first book, and that's the only book that I've read 100%. So, but like I know there's a point of the story where George R. Martin just hasn't gotten to yet. So, I'm assuming that there's the more seasons of TV, the more different from the books it is. And I know it's dense, right? His books are dense, so you can't fit all that. You definitely can't fit all that in TV. Which, like, so glad they didn't do movies, because movies you can fit like what, 10% of the book. Probably more than that, but not a lot. So TV can get a little more, which is why things like I was saying earlier, Percy Jackson should be okay, let me just hold on. I have my phone in my hand, and which is why I'm not drawing. But I don't know what. Hold on. Anyways, what I was saying is things like Percy Jackson. I don't think they should be movies. I think they should be TV. And when it comes to things that are more magical in nature, I think they should be animated. You can make some really cool I think the Star Wars, the Star Wars CGI trailers are a testament to how you can just animate things and things just look so cool. I don't know why more people don't do that. It's not used more, because it's mainly used for games, but you can make a whole ass movie that looks spectacular as an animation, right? And I wouldn't say use it over actors if it's something basic, but if it's something that's high detail, just make it all CG. That's what I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. Things are getting more and more realistic, so weaving them in with humans is easier, but like you could save the money on paying a big actor and just make a bunch of characters. Make them, I guess you still gotta hire voice actors. I don't know what the pay difference is. I feel like voice actors are a lot cheaper than actors, even if they're famous voice actors and not so known actors. I don't know, but I would assume. Yeah, and you don't have to spend as much money because you could bang it out quicker, right? And you don't have to spend as much money on like food and location and blah blah blah. I wonder if that's a more cost-effective way to make a movie nowadays. I'm gonna look into that because I have so many ideas for movies. I know it's still not gonna be cheap, but it might not be X amount of millions, right? It could be half that. But I don't know. Definitely something I'm gonna look into though. Um, like the last Star Wars trailer I seen, that was so. I'm trying to. I usually draw with my screen completely flat, but I know I'm recording from the same thing I'm drawing on, so it's just I want you guys looking right up my nose. So I have to draw with it kind of like standing up rather than flat like I would usually do, which is probably better for my neck, honestly. But it's just not as I'm not as used to it. But what was I saying? The last Star Wars thing I seen was like Star Wars CGI animation, realistic, whatever. Was the one with I think it was Darth Bane, or was it Malekith? I think it was Darth Bane, and then um, the two Jedi, the the Jedi Knight and his Padawan, and it was so cool. I flipped out because it was awesome, and all of them are awesome. But I just thought it was really cool, and I'm like, make a whole movie like this. Get I was gonna say not Ryan Johnson. What's his name? Dave Filoni. Get Dave Filoni. Get him to write something cool because he loves Star Wars and he does his thing with like the Clone Wars. Awesome as shit. And they're doing a new Clone Wars or like Jedi Legends or something like that. And I'm pretty sure it's all canon. It's gonna be so cool. Count Dooku and he's young. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I just remembered that that was a thing while I was speaking. So I think that's gonna be so cool. But geez, I'm looking at myself, looking like speaking as I'm going, and I'm like, I gotta get a higher facing camera, but that doesn't matter right now. But yeah, no, get Dave Filoni, get him to write some cool shit, right? Because you know he can do it, and then make it completely like cool and CGI, like how they make those game trailers. And sure, it'll be some sort of expense, but but everyone's gonna watch it. Everyone will buy it, so it's worth it. And I think they paused, or just put it on Disney Plus, honestly. But I think they paused making Star Wars movies right now, just because the ones they tried to make before were just real bad. I think this was it Solo. They stopped making movies, or they paused their whole movie lineup because they had a bunch going on. So just make cool animated things. You don't have to make them that long either. If you make them like what, like a just like a short, like an episode, like a 45 minutes type deal, I think people would be psyched for that. So I don't know, and just do well, anything, honestly. Like I said, just do make Dave Filoni write it. He'll make something cool. We all know that. We all know he's on it when it comes to Star Wars. So just do that. And honestly, probably with the cost, um, you'll save because they just save on like actors and all the stuff actors need. Make a few of them, right? Again, I guess you could do what they're doing with the Jedi show, but I would put it in like somewhere that doesn't have to do with the main cast, like the main like Skywalker trilogy cast, I guess, right? Like Obi-Wan, Count Dooku, like uh Yoda, all those people. Just go somewhere else and see what other force sensitive people are doing. Cuz I don't when they do things like when they do things like, oh, we're gonna show like Andor. I love Star Wars. I haven't watched Andor. I don't give a shit, right? Oh, this is what he did to get Death Star plan. Remember the guy that got the Death Star plans? This is what he was doing before that. What? I don't give a shit. Show me space wizards or doing like dope stuff. I want to see someone move stuff with their mind, right? That's all I want to see. And all you've said about that is like the Star Wars stuff, like this Skywalker stuff and the people related to the Skywalkers. So like go somewhere else. What are other people doing with it? Every sensitive person's a Jedi or a Sith. Tell some new stories. I think that'd be fun as hell. And it broadens your universe. Oops. Makes your universe it makes your universe so much bigger. um so that's what I think they should do. I don't even know how I got on this topic, but I'm passionate about it, obviously. um okay, I have to draw a horse. I'm gonna draw her face first. Um I'm just gonna bring this all up a little bit. Oops. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. There we go. Just gotta bring that all up. She's a little too tall to begin with. And then we'll just push that in. She looks a little thicker than she actually is. Uh, that, yeah, sure, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. I love Star Wars, and what they're doing with Star Wars is mid, in my opinion. So just open up the world, get some people to tell some cool stories. Um, that's what I think they're going to do with Ryan Johnson, and then they got scared with the because people didn't really like his episode of like his movie, which is fair. Um, I won't like diss anyone for hating that movie, but honestly, it was my favorite out of the three new ones. So yeah, no, it was my. I don't know if it was my favorite. Uh, it wasn't my favorite. I don't like how they sidelined my dude Finn. That was crazy, and it was kind of going in the direction like, oh, this guy, her, and or him and Ray, and I think there was some like, oh, we can't let this black guy be with this white girl. Now again, don't quote me on that. I'm not saying that's why it happened, but it kind of felt like it. Um, Instead, let's give him something another month. Can we just give this guy a minority? Take her instead of our women. Is how I kind of see it, because it's obviously going one way, and then it ended up like, oh, this is no, there's just like a sexless thruple at this point, right? At the end of it, like, oh, they're just friends. There's no uh feeling for anyone, and then um but Ray also got with Kylo, kind of, right? Is that what happened? I don't know what happened with that movie. That movie was crazy. The last movie made no sense. It was like a total left turn. And I think it's because they didn't plan it out like at all. And a million people have talked about this, so I don't need to harp on it. But I think it was like they needed like a through line, like, okay, from this is gonna happen in the first movie, this is gonna happen in the second movie, this is gonna happen in the third movie, and that's how it goes. Just like a broad outline at the very least. But I think they had nothing, and they're just like, you dictate what happens here, and then we'll switch it to see what this guy does, which makes no sense to me, and then we'll switch it back for some reason, so this guy could try to get his original vision by erasing all of the last guys, which is exactly what happens. I don't know, I'm talking about a movie that's so old by now, but it's just like, it's a little frustrating because what the hell was that? Like, as far as planning goes, you're the same people that do Marvel, so you should know how to plan a series, right? You would think. I don't know. Ugh, my other computer, it shut off because I wasn't moving the mouse, and now I can't see my reference, which is annoying. But it'll come back, I'm sure. Oh, there we go. Here it is. Came back faster than I thought. Um, but sorry, technical difficulties. I'm just pulling everything up again. Yeah, they didn't have any plan whatsoever. So that's just super confusing. Um, my bad. I'm just trying to get back to everything. But anyways, I don't know why people don't use those CG models and make more movies, because I think you could do some cool stuff with them. And I know it's expensive and the rendering power can be a lot, but you could probably make some. I'm gonna look into it because I feel like in the right circumstance, like you could probably do it with only a few people, with a handful, like a group, like it's just a handful of people. Ugh, I have to draw this horse. It's gonna be rough. Um, and uh, most filmmakers, new filmmakers specifically, I guess maybe like to work with people. I one of the reasons, because I used to be into photography and I used to be into videography, but I don't necessarily care to work with like to organize all that. right? Because if I'm great at working on a team, 100% a team player, but if I'm being a creative and I have to go and I have to organize the minute details of everything, I have a that I don't care to. Not like I have in the past, but I don't care to. It's just not fun to me. So when I do illustrations or comics or whatever, it's just me working with myself. It's easy. It's easy. So I'm trying to talk and figure this out. I'm not good at drawing horses, like I've said a million times. So bear with me. But I think it's a good way for a filmmaker or a creative to get his or her vision out by just with minimal people, because making a whole movie is rough. I've been in a few I've been in commercials, right? Or music videos specifically, where there are a lot of people working on set and a lot of money goes into it. And then I've been on like little college movies that I've made with my friends. And even that, there's you got to coordinate with everyone and make sure everyone's time is good and blah blah blah. Um, so I think the CG would be a decent way to get your vision out without too much hassle from other people. Like, you don't gotta coordinate everything. You don't gotta. Well, I'm kind of doing something here. You don't gotta make sure everyone's fed. You don't gotta do any of that, right? Which just logistically sounds good to me. I don't know. I don't know if I should be thinking that way, but I do. But if I ever get to the point where I make movies, um, I'll just have enough money to hire the people to do that, right? Yeah, I guess what I'm talking about is I'd want to be a director, and then not a not the person who has to manage everything, just the guy who shows up and it's like, hey, do it like this. Right? Because I'm sure all the other stuff I'm talking about is an actual job where you gotta deal with all like the actors and blah blah blah. I don't think the director has to do any of that offset. But again, I could be wrong. When it comes to movies, I don't know much. I know about writing movies. I know about the pre-production. Know a little bit about the post-production, but the production in and of itself, I don't know too much about. Just your basics. Probably not even your basics. I know there are directors. I know there are actors. But I'm gonna look more into CG because you can uh, you can buy models, right? And you can buy um, and once you make the rigging, you can once you do like the rigs, which you could also buy the rigs and fit them to the 3D models, um, if they don't already become rigged, like come rigged, and then you can buy like like uh like pre-recorded actions, and you can buy a ton of those, and then I guess it feels more natural. But I guess all the smaller minute details like facial expressions and all that would be hard to pull off when it comes to models like that. I don't know how I went from do it with a team to to how I do a whole production by myself. But that's the way I think sometimes. I don't know. If I could get it done myself, I'd rather do that. But if I need people, hire people. It's always a better way to go. Because honestly, people that actually do that job are going to be better than you just trying to figure it out, right? That's why I'm thinking about hiring a letterer for my comics, because I hate that part. It's no fun. So, but I do love drawing it and inking it and putting it all together and writing it. Writing it is real fun. But the lettering is stupid. I don't want to figure out where it goes and blah blah blah. So that's something I gotta do at some point. Hire a letterer. Should probably hire an editor too, just to I don't know, keep me on point or something like that. I don't know. What do editors do other than make sure, like, what do editors do? Right? Because if you have the writer and if you have everything in the pipeline, I know they kind of are in charge of stuff when it comes to comic book. I don't know. I gotta look that up. And editors out there, because I know a lot of the times you guys are the ones hiring. I'm not saying, what do editors do? That's just a real question. I'm not trying to get no industry hate by accident. Oof, this is rough. I'm trying, but I am not used to horse anatomy. Usually when I draw animals, I just make them up. Or they're reptilian in nature. Usually they're some sort of reptile or bug creature, because those are easier to draw. You could like kind of mess them up a little bit and people won't notice. I don't think I'm doing that bad a job, honestly, now that I'm looking at it. It's not the best in the world, but like, hey. I don't get people who just draw um animals, right? Like there are people who just draw horses or just draw dogs. I couldn't do it. They're not varied enough, right? Well, they're varied, right? Because there's how many species of whatever. But well, I like drawing fantasy though, right? And some people could be like, "Oh, how's he drawing people that shoot firewalls? That's that's boring. That's not even real." But when it comes to real stuff to me, I'm like, well, we can take a photo of that. No, you got to do something a little fantastical, in my opinion. But there are people who don't, and there's some awesome. They do some awesome work, right? I'm gonna bring that. Should I bring that back or up? It's a little off. I don't know. Let's just bring it. Oh, realism, when you see it, is and they do it right, especially like hyper realism type deal, is real cool. But um, I love when people like merge hyper realism and fantastical. Like Alex Ross, for example. I think Alex Ross is dope. He does comic books, and he'll draw from like, and he recently did a Fantastic Four. That's pretty. The art is amazing. The story, in my opinion, So far is like it's mid. It's okay. It's fine, but the art, fantastic. Pun intended. But what was I even going on about? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I have absolutely zero. Uh, I don't know what I was talking about. Obviously, it wasn't that important, right? But oh yeah, no, things being fantastical in art. I think things should be fantastical and fun, right? Like this, I'm drawing from a from from an image. I guess technically with Photoshop you could do anything now though when it comes to images too. So it doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I think as far as art's concerned is do what you like, right? Um, and when it comes to art as a job, uh, if you're doing what you like and you're making money, you're freaking winning, my dude. Especially if you're making good money, like money you can actually uh, like live and survive and thrive off of. Freaking, that's the that's the point. That's the goal right there. That's awesome. So yeah, and a lot of art isn't for other artists, right? Like I think minimalism is the stupidest thing, but there are people who make ducats off that. So yeah, no, get your cash. Is what I think. But I also think no one, uh, people who are doing like minimalism are just good marketers. I don't think no one's in it for the love of the game at that point. But I could be wrong. If you're a minimalist, then you're doing it for the love of art. Let me know because I'm just genuinely curious at that point, right? I actually love to have a discussion. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd love to have a discussion with a minimalist, like someone who does it as a profession, because um, I just wonder why and how do they feel about it. Because for me personally, when it comes to art, I like story, right? Like what is the story behind this image? What is the hold on. It's all about story at the end of the day for me, right? Always has been. Um, is a story and is it cool as hell? Those are the two things. But for a minimalist, there's no real story there, and I don't think it's how they represent it for them, right? Oh, it's a thousand shades of blue, right? And it's just like you're just looking at a blue canvas. I don't know. I feel like I feel like that's more marketing than anything, but I'd like to hear if they are actually passionate about what what they're making, like behind closed doors, right? Because if it's like a podcast, for example, they're definitely going to be like, of course, because that's how people will continue buying their stuff, right? Yeah, but that among other things would be interesting. Uh, I feel like gallery artists in general are interesting. Just because it's so different from commercial art, from like comic books, from whatever concept art from book illustration. It's like similar process. Well, what illustration specifically? It could be a similar process, but like it's just marketed so differently. So it's like, what do they think about the whole thing? You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. I make this girl's nose too big. Kind of. It's much different in the whatever. It's fine. Side's a little wonky. I'm gonna be honest. But again, not bad for a rough. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know why I chose so many pictures, especially for my first live stream in a while. And she looks off. I don't know why she looks off. It's because of the horse. Her face just looks off. I don't know what it is. Oh, and I did one eyebrow because why not? What, do you guys not have one eyebrow? Is it the shadow I put there? So that would throw something's throwing it off a little bit. It's another bad habit I have. Just turning the canvas all the way. Or all the time. Not even like the digital the whole computer. Just turn it around. Alright, let's do that. And then this guy has like reins. Move her arm. I know I keep on messing with this arm, but it's just not in the right place. And it keeps on it keeps on being not in the right place, which is annoying. There we go. Let's do that there. There we go. Still a little too far over to the side, but it is what it is at this point. What are we gonna do? She's not even the main subject of this. Could have left it like how it was. And it's just a sketch. So, which means we could do whatever next time when I do this, which is probably gonna be tomorrow. Because I'm thinking about streaming Monday to Friday. For a while and just see how that keeps up. But next time I do this, I'm going to be a little looser. I might not even start with an image. I might just go random with it. Because when I go random with it, sometimes I make better stuff. Sometimes not. But one thing's for sure, I definitely do it quicker. actually do. This thing. I don't know why there's not a third Avatar series. I don't know why they with this. Like, I know the first one was a success. I think the second one was because they kept on bringing it back every season, which really messed up the flow of it. They're like, "Oh, yeah, this is great. Another season," and then they kept on ending, but having to like restart, which is always awkward. So because they couldn't do a through line like they did in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where the whole time he was working for one thing, but he went through 3 seasons, right? Water, earth, fire, and he already had air, so they didn't do. I think they just did 3 seasons. I might be incorrect about that, but I don't think so. Oh, you know what? Might be because of this. Something's looking off, and it might be her scarf in this is so much further out than it is in the image. So I'm just gonna do that, and hopefully that helps a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. There's something off about it, but I'm gonna go to the next one because I don't know. I'm just not loving this one in general, but it is what it is. So move her face a little bit less to the side and see if that helps. I don't know, dude. Did that help? Did that make it better at all? No, I'm just gonna leave it. Go on to the next one. Yeah, I don't know why I chose to do 4. 4's a lot. I might just do 3 and see how I place it. And then once I place everything, do like the final sketch, which is usually quicker. Ugh, why isn't my mouse working? So many technical difficulties. Let's just lose power. Oh, it's so frustrating, dude. Oh, that would have been such a better reference for this. Damn. Don't you hate when that happens? It didn't even give me a warning that it was about to die. Which is so annoying. Alright, well, that is, that's charging. um, Okay, so what do I got so far? Is there a way to, so, let me bring that down. A little bigger. It's this guy. Obviously in the front. I don't know why she wouldn't be looking at the camera. You know? Wouldn't that make more sense? When, oh, jeez. Uh-huh. I'm still recording. What's up? Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. All right. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. All right. No, no. That was my mother. Jeez. Um. Okay. So I don't even know what to do with my thing. Yeah. I could just make something up, I guess. I think I'm gonna change this girl's face though, right? To pointing forward. I think that'd make more sense. Considering, unless I put someone else, you just switch her eyes, honestly, to the main, to the front. Now what? She's looking at her horse. Um, I don't like her face at all. I drew it weird because the reference I'm drawing it from. The girl's pretty. This one, I don't know what I did. I did something and it was not in her favor. Which, hey, sometimes sketching, you win some, you lose some. But this is just like, oof. Like compared to the last ones I did, which were so good. I don't know why. Now, drawn in front of you guys, I'm all embarrassed. um, but I do like where this is going. Like honestly, if I fit someone else like there, just like a bigger guy, whatever, and then maybe someone the background. I don't hate the idea. But I also feel like her face should move a little more. Oops. Add. Yeah, her face should move slightly more so she's a little more engaged because she looks off screen, right? So I don't know if that's like she's not a part of this image, right? Like I'm thinking about this as like a, well, like as a general illustration, really, but like as a book cover, even. That's how I usually think of my stories. Like, what does this? What's further? What's happening further into this? What does this tell? Hmm. Is that better? Forehead's pretty big too. There's a bunch just off with this, I think. Here, I'm gonna get rid of this big thing. I'm gonna make it smaller. Because I know there's a way I can fix this. It's just bugging me. I would have moved on already if it wasn't, but something about it. like her eyes bigger too, because they're very like short lengthwise. And I think they just don't fit the face. I feel like I didn't draw it as one like cohesive thing, and um that might be the problem. I think that's a little better. And then I think that's better, but it's not. It's better. It's better. Let me. All right. Let me just move on. I'm going to. I swear. All right. I think it's doing something. I need at least one more guy in here. Now. I'm seeing if there's anything. Maybe someone's sitting in the foreground, like here, type deal. But let's see what reference I can find. If I find anything cool, and that fits the current vibe that's going on, I'll do it. I'm not seeing anything so far. Definitely some cool stuff, just not that fits. It's the wonder of Pinterest. There's so much awesome stuff here. Rather than just like going on Google, for example. Seen something interesting, but the head's cut off, and I'm like, come on. What are we doing here? I don't know. I'm already wondering what I'd tell this. What I'd call this story. Because it looks like a adventure story, that's for sure. Might be because of the horse. But it definitely feels like an adventure story to me. And then... Oh, I missed the medallion. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, no, I definitely think this is an adventure story, right? And we have the guy in the front is our wizard, and she's like our ranger, right? That's two long range people. We need at least one short range, right? Are rangers short, long range? Yeah, they have bows and stuff, right? And wizards typically keep their distance because they need time to cast their magic, right? There are not a lot of when it comes to like battle wizards doing stuff close range. At least I don't think so. Uh, every magic user I see usually likes to be away, and it's usually like a far away battle where you gotta dodge stuff or have like a beam struggle or whatever. But no, that's the character I play. The up close wizard, the guy who likes to do like magic in one hand, sword in the other. Always think that's fun. And why wouldn't you learn both? You know, what if they close in? You gotta know how to do your thing. Yeah, typically in a not typically, ideally in a setting such as that, you should know both just in case. But it's usually uh, you're usually kind of isolated in like wizard stories, for example. Usually, is you only fight with magic, right? And then every now and again, someone gets the upper hand because they just do some physical stuff. But more often than not, they're fighting with magic, so you don't really have to learn anything physical. I think it makes sense, right? But like, it's things only make sense in relation to their world because, for example, in Harry Potter, if you have a gun, it's faster to shoot off than a spell, right? And the gun will kill you. The spell probably won't because they only have one killing thing. They have a torture spell and they have a killing spell, and then everything else will be fine. Or at least that's how it seems. I haven't done my deep dive into spells, but it seems that there are two things that'll get you. But then there's also things like uh, Dumbledore with his big fire spell. That'll definitely kill someone for sure, right? Like not even, um, not even like there's no chance you get hit with that enough. I guess if you get hit with anything enough, now that I'm thinking about it, and if you like the one that freezes you, if you stupefy someone off of building, they're probably not going to end up well. So I guess it's how you use the spells, not necessarily what the spells are. But and we're in a high school, so the or like a boarding school type deal. So is it a high school? What age does Harry Potter go in? I don't know, because the first movie, it's his birthday. I don't know what birthday that is. I feel like he's like 12ish. That's a lot to go through. It's wild, these YA stories, and all these kids have to go through such traumatic have to go through such traumatic things, and they deal with some crazy stuff, and you're like, no real kid would deal with anything like that as well as these people are, right? So my nose is itchy and it's annoying. I keep on going to it. What age was Harry the first movie. There we go. 11. He was 11. I was close. I said 12. But yeah, exactly. The funny thing about Harry Potter is there are a bunch of kids that said, "Oh, I always waited for my letter from Harry Potter." When they were doing that, I was waiting to get my mutant powers. I was definitely thinking that they would come in eventually. I was little and I was like, "Hey, I know, I'm gonna be able to use telekinesis at some point. I'm just waiting." Honestly, I'm still kind of waiting. That'd be tight. Do I think it's gonna happen? Maybe. I don't know. There are mysteries about this world I know nothing about. So, you don't know till you know. Not ruling it out. But I always thought that was funny because I not met one person like me who was like, well, um, mutant powers, but like so many people waiting to go to Hogwarts. Because like, why wouldn't you? Honestly, who doesn't want to know magic? I don't know. I'm still mucking around with this face. I swear it doesn't usually take this long. This first live stream, I'm just I don't know. Out here feeling nervous or something. But it's just not going the way it usually does. It's better though. I think that face is way better than what it was before. The eyes still bug me a little bit, but it is what it is. Um, Honestly, I could do a background on this and then call it a day. Right? It's still super sketchy, but we didn't come here for anything other than that. So, what would I do though? Hmm. I do a forest. I always do a forest, though, and a few times before that, I did a beach scene. We could do a desert, I guess, right? Rocks in the mountain, and rocks, rocks, rocks in the like mountains in the background. um, okay, let me do this on this one. But I feel like there should be something about this. I feel like there should be one more character. Let's do that. Oh, right. Yeah, I'll draw the setting. I might draw one more character, just freehand it, because I feel like it's missing one person. Um, and rather than it being a couple on an adventure, it'd be a whole group with we at least have one more person. So I'll figure that out. I might put him more in the background or something, but I don't know yet. I don't think I'm liking this background. Okay, so we have this background. It's pretty simple. But I feel like I'm gonna do something interesting with the sky, and that's what's gonna pull it together. Like, plankton in the sky. And he's pissed. These are the last people keeping away his Krabby Patty formula. In an emergency effort, Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob got the formula to these guys, and they have to bring it to Neptune. I don't think that's the story. We'll try it again. It could be on a different planet, maybe. Um, right. Maybe they're space mages. But I don't like that idea either. Plus, there's like a horse. It'd be a but an alien thing if it's on a different planet, you know. So, but there has to be something interesting about this. It doesn't have the oomph I want, right? Like, hmm. Okay, so my default for an interesting sky is just weird planets. That would never work. Like, this is way too close to whatever that planet is. I would assume. I don't think spatially it would work. Like, that's, I don't know. But, we'll see. Maybe the planets are coming too close to Earth, drawn in by some type of evil empire. And this is what makes their magic stronger. So these people who have earthen magic are are um, are trying to stop it, because the closer the other planets get, the more the Earth's natural energy suffers, or something like that. I don't know. It's not the worst story I've heard in the world. I feel like the gravity of these planets being this close would crush everyone, though. But like, also science fiction. Does that have to make sense? I don't think anyone has ever said it's got to make sense. Just make sense in the rules and in the rules of that world. This is a disc world. It's a flat Earth, and the other planets, the more round celestial bodies there are, the less their flat planet magic works. There's definitely too many uh, planets, right? I think I'm gonna take away. Yeah, I'm gonna take away this big guy. I don't like it. It's too much. Reason why, man? I don't know. So let's go, cuz. Listen to music now. All right, so no. Oops. Um. All right. All right. This reminds me of DC in one of the Crisis events when all the worlds just inhabited the same space. All right. I'm gonna delete all of these. This is all trash. All right, it's gone. I gotta do something to this guy, right? And these guys look like they're in some magical world, so I feel like maybe I do a castle in the mountains. There's something. There's got to be something. I'm just messing around with it, and if I'm only gonna do two characters, I gotta do something cool. All right, so let's. Oh, you know, it'd be interesting if was the Tower of Babel, right? So you have all humanity working together, and you have these two who are trying to stop humanity from reaching God, right? And it was like it's like a mission from God to stop them, right? So they're like on they're the protagonists, but they're also against all of humanity. So it's like, how do we feel about these guys, really? Maybe the castle is a series of pillars that goes all throughout the mountains. And maybe it's a mining company that starts from the top, or a mining kingdom. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a whole kingdom if it's just the castle, right? So maybe it's not a kingdom at all, not a king at all, right? It's just the family that got there first, became richer and richer, and started making these pillars on top of the mountains that they now own. I don't know what that has to do with their story, though. What would that have to do with their story? I don't know. This is my favorite part, where I'm just trying to connect the stories of these things and what's actually happening here. But it's probably not. I don't know how interesting it is to hear, but it's definitely fun for me. Because that's pretty much all I do. Right? Let's just think about how story works and what one would do in a certain situation and blah blah blah. Because it's fun. I'll give myself thought experiments for certain stories, and I'll be like, okay, I'm in the DC universe. What do I do? I just pop in right now. What do I do? Right, and that'll give me ideas for. I don't like this. I don't know what I'm doing with this background. I'm like definitely gonna do something, but hold on. Let's make this peak a little higher. Yeah, and then I want a bridge running across it. What's cool is you know Dracula's castle in Castlevania and how that castle kind of makes no sense. Like structurally, I feel like it would fall apart if someone tried to actually make it. Do I have? I do not. I have a bunch of books right beside me. I assumed. Oh no, it's over there. Castlevania would be one of them. I have the art book for that. I have a ton of art books just because I love them. But it's not. But it doesn't make any sense. I don't think. I'm not a architect, but I understand gravity. But I'm thinking about maybe making something like that. Maybe these it converges on like a. Hmm, I'm thinking of having something related to the castle here. That's the main part. It's got to be tethered somehow. Or maybe those are the ways into the mines. Hmm. I'm thinking maybe the castle goes to the side, and these are vents from the mine. I don't know what they're letting out. They're letting something out. I also don't know how a structure works on mountains. I don't know if I need to. And how big would it be if it's all the way on mountains and like that high? You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. There's a city of people living in this. I think I'm getting to something here. It's at least looking interesting, if not working story wise, which the look right now is the most important because I'm not writing the story. And the whole region is covered. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's a fight between magic and science that's going on right now. And the more of one, there's the less of the other. The less the other works. That could be interesting because now neither side is necessarily wrong. Um, no, I don't think we need. Do we need lightning? Yeah, we could have lightning because yeah, and then instead of because yeah, no, you do have a wrong side. It would be the science side that's wrong because then we can yeah, then we could say it's just been bad for the environment. That's part of the reason the magic is dying. Because less science, more like ingenuity type deal, right? Because I'm sure there would be like a science of magic, for example. I kind of like the idea of this little mountain colony that kind of got too um that hit like some pivotal thing in their development, and now they're just like multiplying like crazy. They're hmm, yeah, they're multiplying like crazy. They start making this huge thing, and by the time people notice, they're already doing their damage, and they're just like, "What? We're trying to live." And it's not only this guy, but it's the whole society, maybe the whole world, uh, is living in magic, and they're just like, "But have you tried this science stuff? That's pretty cool." And yeah, there's just like an area of smog all around because the sky could be clear like here, right? But when it comes to around them, it's dark. Like maybe if and throw some. Is flying cars too much? I think it's probably too much. And we'll do like smaller buildings near the plant. Maybe this is where people, like common people or whatever, the workers live. I don't know, something like that. At the very least, makes like there's something going on down here. Um, we'll make that like I find when I do 50%, that's too gray, like it's too dark. 25% is not bad. Yeah, and then oh yeah, and then yeah, no, they would just if this is the story I'm going with, they just have different magics, right? And this one's maybe more like cosmic magic, and she's more like earth based magic. You know what I mean? Like this guy's like a maybe astral projection, and oops, maybe like astral projection, and you could see people's thoughts and all that. And then this one, and then the lady talks to animals and things like that. Or he could do stuff like fire spells, maybe. Right? He has so many, so much jewelry. Maybe they help him cast like elemental abilities and work with the. And maybe there's a spark here. Right? And then the same thing kind of flows off of the horse's head. And that way, you know, there's something happening between the two. No, hold on, that's too big. The eye? Is that too much? Doesn't matter. Right? And, hmm. I'm just thinking maybe a quick outline to give it a more finished look. I don't know if it will, but because I spent a lot of time just dealing with technical difficulties. I'm about to end it because it is almost 2. So, a little bit darker. I don't even know what I was saying. Sorry. Oh yeah, no, just do basic full tone, because I lost a lot of time just messing around with technology today, which is how it goes. The first time's a little awkward, or first time back at least, because live streamed before, but not for months. I think it's been a while. Or at least I think it has. I don't know. And come to think about it, I didn't even warm up this time. Usually, before I do these types of drawings, I do what's it called? Gesture drawings, just to loosen up. So next time I'll remember to do that. I was just hyped to get this finished, like get this, do this again, because I do enjoy live streaming, whether there are people here or not. I just like talking to myself. But okay, so with her I'll go a little lighter. Then the 4P. And then is this making sense? I don't care at this point. I'm just like, oh, it's looking cooler than before. Um, and then let's do. I'm gonna make the sky like the lightest color. Yeah, next time I'm definitely just gonna go um just off the dome with it, because hold on, I think I could just do, I think that's part of the mountain. Sorry, I'm getting I'm getting distracted while I speak. I'm just gonna try off the top. of my head, I might do like I have these story cubes, which I have so many. I bought a lot, or did I buy a lot? No, my mom bought a bunch for me. She bought me one pack. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then the next Christmas, she bought me all of them. I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll use them. And they're great for like prompts for sketches, right? They have little images on them to dictate what you will. They're really for writing, but I use them for drawing. So that will dictate what you draw. And I haven't used them in so long, so I'm definitely gonna try. Definitely gonna try them. Um, and I think I'll get a better result than this because when I'm drawing not from reference, it usually goes quicker, and I do more interesting stuff. Like I thought I was gonna fit a bunch in, but again, technical difficulties played a little bit in how this drawing came out, which I don't hate it. It's not bad drawing. It's just rough. It's a little less polished than I like. But again, that's life. Is what it is, right? So, alright, I'm gonna make this lighter. Alright. To bring everything else forward, so I think would that be good? Nah. Um hmm. Alright, so there's just some lines I seen that bugged me. So I'm just going back. Alright. Okay, so let's keep it like that for now. And then this one, I think I'm going to make a little darker. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to put that like that. And then I'm going to change these guys up front, I think. Oh no, can't do that. Um, uh, I like him darker. I don't know if I like her darker though. I think it's because he has more highlights on him. It's more flash. Hmm. I don't know why she'd be so much lighter than the dude though. So it doesn't make much sense. I don't know. I'm always weird with tone. I'm never good with it. Like shading. Oops, I'm sorry. Um, Shading. I do think I'm decent at. I should put another pillar there. But anyways, I'm gonna end the stream soon, uh, and I'll just do better next time. It's all about progression, am I right? So I'm better with shading than I am with like toning stuff, which it is funny because it's similar. It's basically the same thing, like what would appear darker and lighter, but when it's solid like this, it doesn't really work for me. Oh, whoops. I'm just filling in some of the things I missed before, just because. Why wouldn't I? I guess you know. I do love digital for that. Because you could accidentally just go like that, didn't ruin the whole thing. Yeah, no, I'm gonna make her lighter. Oops. And then here, let's just make that completely white. I don't think it takes too much away from the magic. Everything's separated. This is not something I'm gonna post on my Instagram, but it is something that could be cool with a little more work. It's like I don't think it'd take too much work. I think I'd take this and I might do this next time. No, I'm not gonna do this next time. But I might take this and make an image off of this image, if that makes any sense. Because I definitely don't hate it. So I'm gonna uh, uh, number one. I think I'm gonna uh, put these together by week because I'm gonna do another one tomorrow. I'm gonna do Monday to Thursday, and I'm going to probably just compare at the end what I think was the best, and what I did, and blah blah blah. This I just took pictures off Pinterest and then did my own background. Um, but it didn't turn out too bad. I don't think. It's not my favorite thing I've ever done, but it's also not the worst. And honestly, maybe if I do a Friday one, I might take one of the four and just complete it. But don't hold me to that. I'm just thinking out loud right now. But I like it for what it is at the moment. Here comes my child in style. Sorry, I'm listening to Protect Your Neck. You God's part comes, and I think You God's part is my favorite out of all of them, and it's the shortest. And I listened to You God's other song, but it doesn't sound like that little clip. It's just fire. I don't know. There's something about it. But I don't know. I've been really into Wu-Tang. Not recently, but like I guess in the past year, because I was more of an NWA guy, and then, anyways, you don't care about me talking to me about music, or maybe you do. I don't know. But that's it for today. This is the image I made. Now I'm looking at the sky. I think maybe he should be lighter too, because I can't see any of his features. But I don't know. Hold on. That's better. That's better. Okay. All right. There we go. That's it for today. Hey, join me tomorrow. I do it Monday. I do this streaming sketch show. Monday to Thursday. I start at 11 because I don't know, off hours. So if you're watching this after the live, and you want to see me do it live, hey, come join me, talk. Let's have a conversation, right? You could help me draw stuff, but also I didn't have a follow up. Anyways, watch me draw in the future. Come back to this channel, Trudell the Comic God. I am Trudell the Comic God, and I hope everyone has a beautiful day, night, morning, wherever state and time you are. It is 2 a.m. currently, and I am tired, so I am probably going to still do some more work, but it's going to be off stream. So I hope you lovely human beings have a dope time. Peace out.